Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss session 9 of Soft Skills for Business. In Unit 1, Elements of Communication, Cross-Cultural Dimensions, Part 2, Communicating Across Diversity. Dear students, in the last class we had a discussion on meaning of culture, meaning of cross-culture, cultural differences in international business, and summary. Then we had a discussion on multiple choice questions. Today, let me start the session with a small recap again. With the internationalization of business and the LPG culture that is existing, especially in urban and semi-urban areas, metros and cosmos cities, different people have the freedom to go and work in different countries. As a result, in multinational companies or in big organizations in the urban areas, we can witness people from different cultures, people from different countries. Therefore, one should keep in mind when we are in an environment where people from different cultures work, we need to know some of the important requirements to communicate with these people across the countries, across diversities. So let us discuss some of the important requirements to communicate across diversity. The very basic thing that a person need to know or need to understand is that acceptance of unique existence. Here, every individual, irrespective of caste, creed, culture, should be treated equally, because every person is unique. Every person is unique. That is why they have been given job. That is why they are working in particular organization. Every person's culture is unique. Every person's caste, creed is unique. This we need to understand. What is the meaning of this? In a very simple way, we can understand that the culture that we belong to, the caste that we belong to, the creed that we belong to, no doubt it is very important to us. No doubt we have given high regards, we have given high respect to it, and we have within us. It doesn't mean that others do not have these things. That means to say that in what best way I believe myself, in what best way I think myself, my culture, my caste, my creed. The executives who wish to work in different companies need to think the same way about their fellow colleagues. the stigma, the complex about some cultures, the stigma and complex about some creed, the stigma and complex about some caste should not be there in the mind of the people who are willing to work across the country or across the culture. As I told you, every person is unique and every person's background is unique. Therefore, we should not have any sort of stigma or complex about any caste, creed, religion, because when we look into a multinational culture, we can see the people with white skin, we can see the people with black skin, we can see the people having different food habits, we can see the people with different languages, dress codes. The moment we see them, the moment we work with them, we should feel proud that we are working with the people throughout or across the diversities, and we are learning from them, we are teaching to them, exchange is going on. And if we think in this way, in a positive way, the stigma will naturally, automatically it will go out. So dear students, I just want to bring to your notice that if we reserve our mind to ourselves, if we reserve our mind to our culture, if we reserve our mind to ourselves, our religion, then it will become a difficult part to work in a place where people are working across diversities, people are working from different cultures. It doesn't mean that we should not have respect, it doesn't mean that we should not have obligation, we should not have belief about ourselves. Definitely, dear students, we need to have full stream, we need to have high obligation, high respect about ourselves, our culture, but at the same time we need to accept the unique existence of other cultures, other caste, other creed as well. The second important requirement one need to understand who wish to work in an international platform is learning about culture and its diversities. Dear students, the business executives should learn about other cultures. Why they should learn? They should learn about other cultures to understand and bridge the gap of misunderstanding. I have given one example there, you can see. In Arab countries, one can never gift liquor to the Arabians because it is prohibited in Arab culture, in Islamic culture. At the same time, different cultures across the world have different understanding about different things. See, when we are working in a diverse culture, we need to learn, we need to understand. I will give one more example. In our country, money is given importance. In our country, knowledge is given importance. in our country, savings is given importance in our daily life, to the extent that to money, finance, and to the knowledge, we have signified, we have high respect, and we have given the names of goddesses, Lakshmi and Saraswati. See, there was a company, I am giving just one small example. I don't want to take the name of that brand, that product name. Actually, it has launched its product in Japan. The way of launch was not good. It was a advertisement of a soap. The way it has portrayed a woman was not good. In Japan, there is a high regard and respect for women in Japanese culture. In fact, in every culture there is a high regard for women. As a result, what happened? The government had stopped the manufacturing and sale of that particular soap in Japan. See, when we do not learn about other cultures or other diversities, we cannot exist in those cultures. If a business organization or the person who want to work in different cultures need to learn, and at least till the time they work in such a culture, they need to learn, so that for daily activities, for day-to-day working, for day-to-day affairs, it becomes easy for them to manage. Then communication across diversities, and its another requirement is touch communication. See, touching is a taboo in some culture like British, German, Japanese, but it is welcome in other countries like Spanish, Italian, Jewish, Arabian, etc. Touch communication play a very important role in daily activities. It could be shaking of hands, or it could be just touching the shoulders or touching the hands. Sometimes touch communication play a very important role in communicating what could not be communicated through orally. But when we don't know about these aspects, and try to go and work in such places, we will be confused, because in some cultures touching is prohibited, in some cultures touching is allowed. So wherever we are, we need to learn that, and we need to abide by that in our daily activities in the business. See, I would like to give one example. In most of the countries, for greetings and all, they shake the hands twice, thrice, then a kiss on the cheeks. In some countries, in Arabian countries, you see, for shaking the hands, only one hand is not used, both the hands are used. In some countries, just touching the shoulders or just touching the head. is a type of communication. So wherever we are going, we need to understand that particular aspect so that we can easily manage. The next important aspect that one need to know, who is working in a multinational culture, who is working in a organization where people across diversities are working, that recognize that respect can be shown in different ways. It means to say that executives may express respect in different ways. Why they express respect in different ways, we know better, you know better. We know that it is because of the background, it is because of the culture that these people have. Example, when Japanese bow their heads, Anglos they stand up for respect. Fiji Islanders sit to show respect. Look at the change here in showing the respect. In India, the youngsters most of the time, in maximum time, they do not keep leg on leg, they do not sit very straight to the in front of the elders. They do not speak loudly in front of elders. That's a type of respect that they show. And if there are some important points to be discussed, they will discuss very calmly and very diligently so that they can convince the elders. At the same time, showing affection to the youngsters, showing love to the youngsters and providing their requirements is a type of respect the elders show in our culture in India. See, one is standing, one is sitting, one is bowing. Okay. So some people, they give respect by putting perfume. In some cultures, they give respect by inviting through sweets. Okay. There are so many ways of showing respect depending upon the situation, depending upon the circumstances. Respect is shown. See, in our country, we show respect to the soldiers, we show respect to the martyrs, we show respect to the national legendaries in a different way, even after their demise, in a different way. See, I am just giving this example so that through examples, if you can understand it better. There are so many other examples, you can refer to the notebooks and all. See, the fifth important requirement that a person need to follow when they are dealing with people with different cultures is be careful with different gestures. See, in the non-verbal class, I have already discussed about gestures. Gestures comes under kinesics. facial expressions and eye expressions, gestures and postures are the important three parts or subcategories of kinesics, body language. We need to be very cautious when we are using our gestures in a place where people from different cultures are working. Because sometimes what happens is the same gestures conveys something different in other cultures. For example, the sign of a round figure with the thumb and index fingers conveys, see, the sign of a round figure with the thumb and index fingers conveys OK in USA. But the same thing is 0 in France. At the same time, it means money in Japan. Whereas obesity in Russia, look at the difference of these gestures. Somewhere in UK, in USA, it means OK. In France, it is 0. In Japan, it is money. Whereas obesity in Russia. My dear students, so why these examples are quoted here? Because today going and working in USA or USA executives are coming and working in India or in any part of the country, anyone can go, anyone can come. After 1991, after the launch of LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization, today it is not a difficult task. Dear students, when we are going and working in such places, when we want to go and work or when someone is working in these places, first of all, they should be very, very careful with different gestures because they convey different meanings for the people with different cultural background. Then the sixth important requirement one need to understand when they are working in multicultural place, deal with language and business effectively. See, this is a very, very important aspect. Time and again, I have been telling this in the classes. Use of language which is comfortable to all, use of language which will help others to understand becomes important. No doubt, English today is an international language, international medium of exchange of expression. But at the same time, we should not forget that other languages are also getting their prominence, other languages are also becoming important due to this LPG. It could be French language, Chinese language or Japanese language. See, though English is the most commonly used language in most of the countries, yet significant world population do not understand English. Even within English speaking people, there are differences in vocabulary and pronunciation. Therefore, one should not assume that the other person understands everything one says. That means English communication is an international medium of exchange of ideas, thoughts, and all. At the same time, there is a contradiction that within English speaking people only, there are differences in pronunciation, there are differences in usage of language, and we should not assume simply that whatever we are speaking everybody is understanding. Other day, that is why I told, most of the time what we cannot explain through words, we can explain through our non-verbal communication. That is why it has become important today. So we should keep in mind, one who is interested to work as an executive in a multicultural place should keep in mind that even in English there are different ways of expression. Okay, whatever they are telling, everything cannot be understood by the communicatee. This we should keep in mind. Otherwise, there will be unnecessary pressure on the communicator. So, dear students, all these 6 areas where one should keep in mind. As you know that you are all in 3rd semester now, in another 2 years you are also going to go and join for jobs. We do not know who will work in which place, but as a matter of fact that I could tell you that I can tell you that you can go and work in whatever place. You can find diversities. It could be internal diversity, diversity within our country, or diversity of international level. For all these diversities, you should keep all these things in mind. When you take the example of Karnataka itself, there is a difference in pronunciation of Kannada language. Okay, how Kannada language is pronounced in Uttara Karnataka, the same is not pronounced in Dakshina Karnataka. In some places, the pronunciation itself is quite different. In some places, the meaning of words, they do not convey the same meaning. In Uttara Karnataka, one word is used for a particular expression, but the same word is used for another expression in Dakshina Kannada or Dakshina Karnataka. So, the language differences in Mumbai Karnataka, Hyderabad Karnataka areas, or you can take the example of the pronunciation of Hindi wordings. Pronunciation of Hindi wordings in our country. There are some words in Hindi and Urdu. They are mixed together. If some person is speaking Hindi and people are understanding the communicator properly, once if some difficult word is inserted by the communicator, immediately people think that it is Urdu. It is not like that. See, when we are working in a place with different languages, in a place where the people with different languages are there, we need to at least have the minimum understanding about that particular language. Otherwise, it will create confusion. Therefore, every language is beautiful, we need to understand it properly. Let us summarize this concept. The growing international business demands that people around the world involved in international business should know to communicate across diversities to be successful, and educate, improve, adopt themselves into the following: assumptions or behavior that block or promote intercultural relations, learning about other cultures, touch or refrain from touching, touch communication, understand different gestures and body language, understanding different languages and business styles. Dear students, today I am winding up of this class. You can go through the MCQ questions and the study material and refer other study material as well. So I request all of you to do this MCQ questions. If you are not able to understand it properly, you feel free to call me and clarify with this doubt. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye-bye.